Hello, this is Group C2, and I'm Marty Blackson. I worked with Parker Huestess, Will Jenkins, and Ellen Kamoe on this project about bookstores as an information ground. We chose them because we like them. Bookstores, we have access to them, and we've noticed information sharing happening at bookstores. They correspond to Fisher and Naumer's second proposition. People gather at information grounds for a primary instrumental purpose other than information sharing. Our locations were Books Incorporated in Berkeley, California, Secret Garden Books in Seattle, Washington, Barnes & Noble in Columbia, South Carolina, and the Wildcat Shop at Central Washington University in Ellensburg, Washington. Will visited Secret Garden Books, a general fiction bookstore in the Ballard neighborhood of Seattle, at 3:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. The stock of the store is evenly split three ways between children's, young adult, and general fiction, and most in-store events cater to kids and their parents. They also host two monthly book clubs, one for teens and one for adults. Both are very popular in the neighborhood. There are two separate children's areas, one smaller one for picture books and a larger with comfy chairs and a play zone for older kids. Both are set up to facilitate interaction between the children and their parents. The store is bright and well lit. The clerk's desk is in the center of the store, so to get from one section to another you have to walk past a friendly and helpful staff who do inventory at the desk rather than a stock room to facilitate further interaction and greet newcomers. Both storefront windows feature thematic displays that are updated weekly with inspiration either from the season or current and local events. The glass door is plastered with flyers from local events and organizations. Behind the counter, a prominent sign encourages customers to turn off their cell phones. Staff-recommended books are prominently displayed by the door. Because of the centrality of the clerk's desk, walking from the new books to the children's section and the rest of the store required passing the clerk's desk. In the time Will spent in the store, most people, the 10 who entered, walked past the counter and spoke with at least one clerk. In all but one interaction, these brief greetings turned into conversations. In addition, the store welcomes dogs, which encouraged interaction between dog owners and other patrons, and the general manager and dog owners, as she came out to greet each dog. All customers but one made at least brief small talk with the clerk. The majority of conversations from there either moved into discussion of politics, or requests for book recommendations, or assistance in locating a book. The longest conversations by far surrounded people's dogs, and these were the only ones that involved multiple patrons and clerks at the same time. In summary, the aspects which most encourage interaction are the friendly small staff, the layout of the store, and the displays which frequently invited customer interaction. In addition, the dog-friendly nature of the store invited spontaneous exchange of information in a way that might not have occurred had the animals not been allowed inside. As a result, it felt more like a community space than a store. Parker visited Barnes & Noble booksellers in Columbia, South Carolina on a Tuesday around 1 p.m. They're a large corporate book chain with many locations all across the United States. They stock a great deal of merchandise ranging from books, magazines, music, movies, stationery, collectibles, and board games. Most Barnes & Nobles have a cafe and are set up to accommodate large numbers of people, and some of them have free events and sponsor and host local clubs and do things like book signings. They tend to have uniform layouts. The aisles are clean and present an attractive atmosphere with clear, obvious labels. Similar types of materials are kept near one another, a clear distinction between fiction and nonfiction, children's and young adult, etc. Aisles have an end cap, and the books contained within make it easy to browse by sight and perhaps find items through serendipity. Several customer service desks are scattered throughout the store, making it easy to find staff and make requests. Parker overheard someone placing special orders for out-of-stock books. The checkout counter is large and up front, difficult to miss. Counter surrounded by sales and posters, as well as a calendar of events. Parker found there were a great deal of comforts provided in this information ground. The cafe is extremely inviting with comfortable chairs and nice smells of roasting coffee and baked goods. Lighting is a little dimmer there, presumably to make it cozy and welcoming. Tables with comfortable seating and Wi-Fi are readily available. The area is quiet with a low buzz of conversation going at all times. Parker witnessed several small local book clubs gathering in the cafe to discuss their readings. A community bulletin board is set up just to the left of the counter to inform visitors of events and other topics of interest. There are multiple small reading lounges scattered throughout the store, near magazine stacks, exits, and corners. The lounges have couches and chairs pulled close together in an effort to facilitate conversation without making a lot of noise. The cozy atmosphere, open environment, easy access is clearly designed to foster human interaction and provide comfort for the people making use of it. Parker believes Barnes & Noble has really made a name for themselves by providing these elements and packaging them, letting a visitor know what to expect no matter what Barnes & Noble they go into. Ellen visited Books Incorporated in Berkeley, California on a Tuesday around 4 p.m. Books Incorporated calls itself the world's oldest independent bookseller and is a local chain of 11 stores that dates back to the Gold Rush. Books Incorporated's inventory comprises several sections, all of which create browsing flow as well as an opportunity to linger with the materials for sale. There's a large selection of fiction and nonfiction books, a robust children's section including a platform for story time, and an area to browse and read magazines. Displays of games, journals, and art materials are scattered throughout. The bookstore also hosts frequent free events including author readings, book clubs, and story times for children. With its large selection of reading materials, informative signage, and comfortable atmosphere, Books Incorporated optimizes information flow and facilitates human interaction in a retail environment. Information abounds upon entering Books Incorporated. To the left, one finds bulletin boards announcing author readings, book clubs, and community events. These facilitate an exchange of information, spark conversation, and foster a sense of the importance of community. Front and center is the checkout counter. Staff is available for immediate questions, and Ellen observes several customers inquiring about particular inventory and special orders. At busier times, there is a dedicated information desk situated between the fiction shelves and the children and young adult sections. To the right of the checkout counter is a display dedicated to topical books, currently those related to Black History Month. Throughout the store, there are index cards taped to shelves on which staff writes reviews and recommendations. These displays encourage browsing and serendipity, allowing the customer to stumble upon something they might not have sought in the first place. Ellen observed many creature comforts at Books Incorporated. The children's stage was a popular area, with kids and caregivers reading books together. One can easily and caregivers exchange information and the children bond with each other. Chairs are not present in the fiction section. This facilitates more mingling opportunities among the books as well as among customers. Individual chairs are present at the end of nonfiction aisles, and the magazine area includes a bench which allows customers to sit and peruse. A public restroom allows longer browsing, particularly for families with young children. Books Incorporated's convivial environment nurtures human interaction while providing quiet spaces for individuals to read and shop. Ellen found Books Incorporated to be an excellent example of an information ground that supports information flow, human interaction, and a sense of community. Through bulletin boards, in-store events, and creature comforts, the store establishes itself as a community center for reading and learning. I visited the Wildcat Shop at Central Washington University on a Thursday afternoon about 1:30, and on a Saturday morning again at about 11 a.m. I'm a frequent visitor to purchase office supplies and tickets to campus events. The store is mostly frequented by college students and staff and faculty of the university. It's more than just a textbook repository. In the front is a large area with college-themed apparel and some business-appropriate college clothing students can purchase for job interviews. It's a well-lit and attractive store. Most of the information exchanges seem to take place at the cash register. Employees are always willing to help look at clothing, but complicated questions always get referred to a manager. Information usually comes from employees to patrons, but several times in the past I've approached about buying tickets for a particular event, and the employees have no idea what's happening. So information can flow both ways. Most of the employees are college students, and they appear more comfortable talking with other students. The hours of operation are clearly posted. Past the apparel in the electronics section where patrons can purchase computers, phones, or accessories. While I was visiting, I witnessed a student come in and ask for some headphones. The staff member helped her after a brief conversation. Students are often seen shopping together in the apparel section. I've had mixed experiences seeking information or items in the past there too. It seems if you need anything other than ringing up items you bring to the checkout, the student workers always have to go get a manager. It's also the place on campus where you purchase tickets for plays, music performances, etc. And the students always have to go get someone to help with these transactions. Today I was primarily wanting to get pictures because I'd already been in and observed interactions. I took my DSLR camera because I hoped to get some good images. When I asked to take some photos for a class project at the checkout counter, the student worker said she had to get her supervisor. I thought such would be the case from my previous interactions, but the supervisor, after about 5 minutes, came out and said I would have to contact her boss who was gone for the day and wouldn't be back until next week. I tried charming, cajoling, and reassuring the woman of no ill intent on my part, but she was steadfast in her refusal. The whole interaction left me frustrated and angry. Anyway, I went back the next day and took photos with my phone without asking permission. The traditional textbooks are located in the back of the store in an area that appears most like a warehouse. In one corner is a kiosk with computers and printers so students can print their schedules and use the printouts to find their books. The signage is pretty draconian and prospective, as you can see, not very welcoming. Most signage in the store is clear and gives accurate information. This area becomes a hostage-type information ground at the beginning of each quarter. Just between the apparel and the textbooks is a little area with popular books and reference books. It's a pleasant bookstore-type area. The signage is good and the lighting is lower than the other areas of the shop. They have a good selection of reference books too. I've seldom seen anyone using the area when I'm in here. Information factors encountered at the university bookstore included text signage, spoken interactions with employees or between patrons, and announcements of sales and events on social media. The store has a welcoming environment, but no real comfortable places to linger. Our conclusions. Bookstores can encourage information, dissemination, serendipity, and community engagement. Several factors cause this to vary. They can disseminate information through community bulletin boards, clear signage, interesting displays, and reading chairs encourage community mingling, lingering, and serendipity. The focus of a bookstore may be for community interaction with purchasing seemingly incidental, as in Secret Garden. Foot traffic in the local area can facilitate the bookstore as a gathering place, not just a retail space, and CWU's Wildcat Shop would be an example of that. A welcoming staff goes a long way to fostering customers' comfort. Mixed inventory may dissuade some customers, particularly if the staff is not knowledgeable about all the sections. Again, at the Wildcat Shop. And children's sections create family interaction and allow families to stay in the space longer, as Will's example showed us. Barnes & Noble and other big chains bookstores have made a name for themselves by packaging positive elements of an information ground and making sure each part of the chain has those same elements. Comfort, easy access to help when needed, and eye-catching displays enable serendipitous discovery of information. And regular events like book signings to connect authors with the public will help make them solid information grounds. The focus at Secret Garden Books was for community interaction. Purchasing seemed incidental. Overall, bookstores can create and build community. And here are our references.